Awesome. I'm live. Oh my goodness, this thing's shaking around like crazy. Cool. Levi Allen here. Welcome to the Left Coast. I'm really excited. I'm live today to talk to you about my awesome, ultimate GH5 rig that I've got going on. I wanted to talk to you a bit about it because I've been working on a video review of some of the pieces that I built out this kit over shooting with it in across the past like 6 months. So I'm pretty hyped about sharing this setup to you, and also just the kind of subtleties of what's going on here, because it's not supposed to be just crazy. It's supposed to actually, well, there's a lot of really functional things kind of going on in this setup. So I wanted to be able to talk to you about that. And I also just wanted to say, how's it going? Because it's been a minute. I feel like I was just getting on the ball there again, rolling out some videos. And the reality is I've been working on a lot of client projects. So it's been a challenge when you got client projects to finish. YouTube's just got to kind of take the backseat for now. I'm trying to get to a place where I can change that. Uh, yeah, so I wanted to say sorry there hasn't been a video, but I'm also really excited because now I get to ask you what types of questions you have for this setup, so that way when I make the actual video, uh, I can maybe address some of those questions and kind of just maybe make something that's a little bit more helpful. Uh, so by the way, the comments are flying by so fast with everyone that's hopping in. It's hard to stay on top of it here with the iPad setup. I'm using kind of like the poor man's streaming setup. It's actually not poor at all because it's a expensive iPad Pro that I'm streaming from. But yeah, I would like to do a more advanced streaming setup kind of with this. So hopefully one day I'll be able to invest in that. I'm not really happy with how much my exposure right now. I wish there's a way I could like lock it my face. Maybe I can dial that back. Anyhow, I'm going to talk about the pieces here in a moment. For those of you that are just tuning in, we're doing it live, guys. We're doing it live. We're going to do a live lighting adjustment right here. Like that's a touch better. If that's better, let me know in the comments. Is that better? Well, dang, because now, shoot. I feel like I'm just going to be so hot this entire video. Shoot. That's no good. Yeah, my face is just like totally overexposed. Is my face overexposed? Dang it. Oh well. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, we're going to talk about this GH5 rig, what I'm really excited about, and kind of the pieces that are working here. And then I'm going to take a chance to ask or to listen to some of your questions on, yeah, basically what your questions are. I'm going to point this light directly into the, and this will help tone down the exposure, I think. Yeah, that's actually working, I think. Wow. Okay. Whew. I think that's working. Holy smokes. Okay, so this here is my GH5. I've been filming with this all summer, and this is kind of like, I'm calling it like, it's not really fair, but I'm calling it the C100 rig, just because it's the setup that takes us close to what you'd get with the C100 straight out of the box, with some extra add-ons and obviously something that's a little better. So let's kind of walk through what's going on here. At the center of what's holding everything together, this is the 8-sin cage. I bought it kind of on a whim because it looked to be one of the most ergonomic cages. And that's kind of what I built everything else around. And all these other extremities, these parts, these accessories are from a company called Small Rig, which actually is incredibly affordable, really high quality DSLR accessories. I've been seeing people use them for years, and I actually got a chance to use some of them while shooting earlier this spring. And I was like, this stuff is pretty dang good, actually. So maybe I should try it out. So that's all these Small Rig, all these extra bits around it are all Small Rig. And this cage right here, this is actually a Small Rig cage. And so this is what the Small Rig cage looks like. And what I've got on the camera right now is the 8-sin. The 8-sin is like 3 times the price of the Small Rig cage, which is crazy. But because I bought the 8-sin, I've been using it. It technically hugs the camera a little better ergonomically. So in that sense, it's got a bit of an advantage over the Small Rig cage. But these are all the Small Rig parts that kind of make this whole system work. So let's talk about it. Well, let's talk about this one first. This is just like one of their generic side handles that attaches to a NATO rail. And this is actually really, really handy. I love holding my camera with 2 hands. If you get your hands slightly wider apart, you can get a lot more of a stable image, especially when you're shooting with light cameras. So the further your arms are apart, if you can get them to kind of this natural holding position, it's a lot easier to get stable footage. So that's kind of where I like to keep my hands when I'm doing dock style filming. So this other grip, even if I'm just using the side handle on my camera, this other grip just off the side, off a NATO rail on the top, really just gives that extra little bit of stability. And then when I'm carrying the camera around, when I'm not filming, I actually hold the camera sideways and use this as like a top handle. So this handle is very grippy, very sturdy. I'm very happy with it. And so as we come around here, I'll show how it just slides onto the NATO rail. So underneath the mic there, it just slides on the NATO rail and clamp on. And this is that double holding setup. So that gets me this nice, like strong ergonomic position. And this right here is the most complimented accessory I've ever had on a camera. So this wooden handle, it attaches by a Swiss Arca mount, which basically means you can rotate it and lock it down really firmly in any position. So this wooden handle here, this again is a small rig piece, beautifully made. It's pretty phenomenal how they're able to pump these guys out at the price point they do. I think this guy's under $100, which is actually pretty crazy. I could be a little off on that, but I'll link all that up. If you go to left.ly/small rig, you'll go to their page and you can find these parts. But this is a gorgeous wooden handle that's got a really solid ergonomic feel to it. And that's what's attached directly to the side of the cage here via this rosette mount. So basically what that rosette mount means is you can have it at any angle you want. So sometimes if I'm filming lower to the ground, I'll actually just quickly do this thumb screw and pull it back and lock it down. So that's kind of on there. Up top here, I've got my, let me pull it off. This is my NTG3, one of the best shotgun mics in the world, in my opinion, from Rode. It's just gorgeous sound. So that's what I use for my documentary audio. Nice big windscreen. And to interface with it, I've got the XLR unit from, yeah, let's take that off. I've got the XLR unit from Panasonic. So this setup right here just gets us gorgeous audio straight into camera. And what I've got going on the 8-sync cage is an offset bracket for my handle. So that way I can have the XLR adapter on like so and still be able to use it basically and still use a top handle. So it like offsets it out. And then I attach the Rode NTG3 just off the side here. And I have this beautifully short 1-foot XLR cable with a right angle. This right angle is amazing. I don't know why XLR cables aren't built better. It just seems so stupid to me to have these fat XLR cables that come out of the back of microphones at such stupid angles, and they're such fat cables. Like there still is no reason why this cable needs to be this fat. It just doesn't. It's a 1-foot run. It could be a way thinner cable, way easier to manage. But hey, we're getting pretty good here. So this just attaches straight into the XLR module, straight on the camera. This is a ride coat shock mount. You don't have to deal with any elastics. So that's the audio setup. For those that are just tuning in, I'm just walking through my kit out on my GH5, what I've kind of decided is necessary. Basically, you could go bigger than this. You could go shoulder rig. You could go, I mean, a lot of other ways with this, but this is the setup that I've been using for running gun filming, making adventure films in the mountains. So what I love about this is everything's really small and compact, but it gives you a really tight shooting platform. And then the other bit, which I'm really excited about, is this small HD focus monitor. So this you might have heard of around the time of NAB. This was like the hit of the show as far as monitors go. But this is a gorgeous, affordable for small HD monitor. So this is a 5-inch, and basically I've got it on this arm here from Small Rig. And what I love about this is, as you'll see here, if I'm doing a self-film studio setup, I can have the monitor facing me and it auto flips, and then I can rotate it down, have it on the back, kind of like a Sony monitor, except unlike the Sonys, you actually get like a lot of pivot distance with it. So I can go full like that. So that way I can hold the camera rig and brace the monitor kind of right against my chest and get a really solid shooting platform. And this monitor, it's about 800 nits bright, I believe, which means I can actually see it and pull focus really well while shooting in the field. This is my 12 to 35 lens, which is like my go-to filming lens. But when I'm holding the camera Let's loosen this up. Get this rigged out. When I'm holding the camera in this position, basically I can hold it tight against my body, use the monitor arm to prop against me, and then pull focus underneath the lens, cradling the camera like this. And then the mic's off there. And then when I have my headphones plugged in, got my like little in-ear buds while I'm shooting stuff. But then the other cool part is that this arm, if you just keep it just tight enough, you can like literally just rotate this monitor anywhere you want to. So another great place for the monitor is kind of right on top like that. So that way when you're shooting with it in your hands, you can just tilt the monitor back. Isn't that beautiful? So I'm really excited about this. I haven't used monitors previously. And when I'm breaking the kit down into my bag, I can slide the monitor back down to like the lower position like this, take the XLR unit off, and this will like sit right into a backpack. So this setup's pretty killer. Again, we've got the 8-SIN cage as the base. You could save quite a bit of cash and go with the small rig cage. These are manufactured in China. As far as I know, the 8-SIN might actually be manufactured in China. I should check the packaging on that. The 8-SIN just has a little bit more ergonomicness to it, so it hugs the profile of the camera a little better, where this is just a little bit more of a generic box. But some people might prefer that. Yeah, so that's kind of the center that everything's attached to is the 8-SIN cage. And then everything else that you see that's an accessory is a small rig accessory. I'm pretty blown away with the cost, but then also the build quality. I'm going to do a review on all these pieces, and I wanted to actually thoroughly test all of it before I offered up my opinion. You know, is it worth spending hundreds of dollars to buy bits and pieces for your camera? And that's where I've actually been able to use all these pieces across the summer. And I've come back to, yes, it's definitely worth it if you want handles on your camera to go with small rig stuff, because the quality is actually really solid. Back in the days when I was getting into filming with DSLR stuff, if you wanted to buy like side handles like this, they were like $500 or something stupid, and you needed rods and you needed all this extra stuff. What I really love about this NATO system is that everything slides off really easily. So like this is the arm that attaches to the monitor, and this is just like a NATO clamp mount, and it rotates at all the pivots. And I just like how simple everything goes. I love having the monitor on this monitor arm instead of like a magic arm or a friction arm, because this just stays in fixed positions. It's really predictable. It's really easy to get it back just like that, so it can go in your camera bag. Some of those like friction arms, I'm trying to see if I have one sitting around here. They're fine, but if you want to move the monitor, then like the second you loosen it up, the monitor falls. So it makes it really hard to do small adjustments with the monitor on the go like that. So this here is my rig setup. I'll link up what parts I've been using below. In the live feed, you can start asking some questions now that I'll get to. But especially if you're watching this later, please ask comments in the comment section, and I'll try my best to address those inside of my actual review, because I'm going to be looking at this whole kit. So there's a black side handle blocking you from the lens. Not really. So if I come around here, I would be using the camera like that. So I'd be using the camera from this position, and then I just take my hand right from underneath and use the camera like that. I actually find that motion right there to be, once you get into the muscle memory of that, that's actually really comfortable for me. If other people have been asking questions and I missed them, I'm sorry. Can you do 2 channels of audio, wireless transmitter, and shotgun directly into camera? Yeah, that's actually the beautiful thing about this setup is I'm using my Rode wireless system right now, so it's hard for me to show you. But off this XLR unit, do I have it? Yes, I do. So basically off this XLR unit, I use an XLR to 1/8 inch. And so one of my channels is my shotgun mic, channel 1. Then channel 2, I put this like that. And then I take my Rode wireless unit, slide it right on top like that. I posted a photo of this on my Instagram if you want to see it set up. Levi Allen. If you just go to Instagram like that. Then when this is on the top of the camera like that, wireless units going into the side, the shotgun, which is here. The shotgun. So then you can use 2 units. Do you ever get tired with the weight, or is it a pretty light weight? I mean, that's a tough call. Like, there's something really beautiful about having the the bare GH5 in your hands, knowing that like it's just such a small, tiny setup. But honestly, if I'm shooting like this is nothing to me. If I'm out shooting, like this is it's just like, yeah, I'm just making videos. The one downside is it looks a lot more involved. So when you're shooting with a setup like this, it looks a lot more like you're making a movie. So the people that you're filming will be a lot more aware that you're filming, I've found. But yeah, usually you can get away with like pretty discreet filming when you're just using the camera alone. But I mean, the benefit of getting a 5-inch monitor for being able to see your image really clearly, make sure stuff's tack sharp, in focus, histograms, all that stuff. That's really handy, and I appreciate it quite a bit. Wow, we've already gone 15 minutes. Holy smokes. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap this live stream up here. Uh, I'm really happy with this kit. Please, for those that are in the live feed, if you could come back in like 10 minutes and leave any questions on the video once it's posted, not in the live chat, but on the comments, that would be great. If you want to support what we're doing, you can go to left.ly/shop. You can get some sweet Left Coast swag. It's a really great way to support what's going on. But sorry there hasn't been videos. I'm trust me, I'm more disappointed than you are. But the reality is I've been working on client work, and that's what pays the bills right now. So I mean, these are products that I care deeply about and I've been working really hard on. So client work's taking priority, but I've got some super cool stuff coming. Hopefully you'll trust me on that. That's gonna be it for this one. Peace. And remember, life's better when you make stuff.